Fear is a state of mind, nothing more, nothing less. These words from Napoleon Hill changed the way millions of people understood the power of thought. But what is fear really? Fear is not the monster outside. It's the hesitation within. It's not the storm, not the danger. It's the delay, the doubt, the inner voice that says, don't. Napoleon Hill discovered that most people are controlled by 6 basic fears: the fear of poverty, the fear of criticism, the fear of ill health, the fear of losing love, the fear of old age, and the fear of death. These fears don't need evidence. They live in silence and grow in the dark. They can stop a man from chasing his dream before he even begins. Fear is not what happens outside of us. It's what we allow inside. But here's the truth. Fear is a mental habit. And just like any habit, it can be broken. It can be replaced. It can be controlled. It can be defeated. And that's where faith comes in. Napoleon Hill wrote, "Faith is the eternal elixir which gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought." Fear and faith cannot live in the same mind at the same time. The one you feed more is the one that stays. So how do you build faith? Hill gave us the tool of autosuggestion, feeding our subconscious mind with repeated, positive thoughts. Start with this: I am strong. I am capable. I am worthy of success. I am fearless. I am becoming what I believe. Say it, write it, repeat it, not once, not sometimes, but every single day. Why? Because your subconscious doesn't judge. It doesn't question. It accepts what you repeat. If you tell it you're afraid, it believes you. If you tell it you're powerful, it believes you. Speak success until your mind forgets how to doubt. You don't need to know how it all works. Just know this: repetition rewires the mind. And when the mind is rewired, fear loses control. But faith alone is not enough. You must act. And here is what Hill revealed. Fear cannot survive when you take action. Fear lives in delay. It feeds on hesitation. But the moment you move, the moment you act, fear begins to die. The biggest myth is that confident people don't feel fear. They do. They just act anyway. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need a master plan. You need a first step. Write that email. Launch that project. Speak your truth. Ask for help. Apply for the opportunity. Make the decision. Because when you act, you take your power back, and each action builds the next. Momentum grows, confidence grows, and fear fades. Don't let fear win by doing nothing. Because even if you fail, you learn. But if you never try, fear wins forever. Now let's talk about the source of it all: the mind. Hill said, "You have absolute control over just one thing: your thoughts." Most people never control their mind. They let the world plant weeds in their thinking. The news, negative friends, social media, bad memories, inner shame. It starts quietly. A little worry, a missed payment, a dream shelved for later. Then one day, fear moves in, and it whispers, "You're not going to make it. You can't afford to take that risk. You don't have enough." This is the fear of poverty, the most subtle and most vicious enemy of the human mind. Napoleon Hill spent 25 years studying the world's most successful people. And in all that time, in all those minds, he discovered something terrifying. The fear of poverty is not just a problem. It is the root of most failure. It doesn't scream. It doesn't show up wearing chains. It simply creeps into our thinking, like a fog. It replaces ambition with survival. It replaces dreams with doubt. It turns a creative mind into a fearful one, and it spreads. Hill said this fear is more widespread and more dangerous than all 6 basic fears. Because unlike fear of criticism or even death, poverty is real to people. It shows up in bills, in bank balances, in what we tell ourselves we can't do. But here's the truth. Fear of poverty isn't about not having money. It's about believing we are meant to be without it. It's the belief that wealth is for others, that success is too risky, that we must shrink, settle, struggle. This fear works silently. You don't even know it's there until you look back and wonder, why didn't I start that business? Why didn't I invest in myself? Why didn't I apply for that opportunity? Because fear said, what if you lose what little you have? And you believed it. Napoleon Hill warned us, this fear shows up in predictable ways. It starts with indecision. You hesitate. You second guess. You wait for the right moment. You say, maybe next year. Then comes doubt. You're not sure if you're good enough. You're not sure if it will work. You're not sure if you can afford to fail. Then comes worry. You wake up at night thinking about bills. You check your account 10 times a day. You focus only on what could go wrong. Next is overcaution. You avoid risk. You say no to opportunities. You tell yourself it's wise to play it safe, but deep down you're stuck. Then comes procrastination. You put off action. You wait. You stall. You lie to yourself and say, I'm still preparing. And finally, failure. Not because you weren't capable, not because you weren't talented, but because fear stole your action. And without action, there is no success. That's the formula. Indecision, doubt, worry, overcaution, procrastination, failure. And all of it because of the fear of poverty. Now here's the worst part. The fear of poverty doesn't just keep you broke. It changes who you are. You become cynical. You distrust success. You start mocking wealthy people. You call rich people lucky or crooked, not because it's true, but because it makes your fear feel better. You avoid self-development. You stop investing in yourself.